Did you know a Pennsylvania dentist convinced the United States military to weaponize millions of bats against Japan? In the panicked aftermath of Pearl Harbor, this bizarre proposal wasn't just entertained, it became a classified operation endorsed by the president himself. In 1942, the United States was desperate for a strategy to strike at the heart of the Japanese empire. While engineers were beginning the long road to the atomic bomb, a dentist named Lytle S. Adams was on vacation at Carlsbad caverns. Watching millions of Mexican free-tailed bats stream out of the caves, Adams had a revelation. He observed that these small creatures could carry a significant payload relative to their body weight. He also knew that Japan's cities were constructed largely of wood, bamboo, and paper. He connected the dots. If these bats could carry small incendiary devices, they could be dispersed over industrial targets, roost in the eaves of buildings, and burn the cities to the ground from the inside out. Adams drafted a proposal and sent it directly to the White House. Under normal circumstances, such a letter would be discarded. However, Adams was a friend of First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt. The letter reached President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who passed it to his frantic military advisors with a simple, now famous memo. This man is not a nut. It sounds like a perfectly wild idea, but is worth looking into. Thus, Project X-ray was born. The concept was scientifically sound, but logistically nightmarish. The plan required cooling thousands of bats into a state of hibernation, lowering their body temperature to approximately 40 degrees Fahrenheit. While asleep, they would be strapped with miniature napalm time bombs and packed into bomb-shaped canisters. These canisters would be dropped from high-altitude bombers, deploy a parachute, and open in mid-air. The warming air would wake the bats, which would then scatter across a 40-mile radius to find shelter in attics and eaves before the timers detonated. The Army Air Forces began testing at Carlsbad Army Airfield in New Mexico. However, handling thousands of live, armed mammals proved difficult. In 1943, during a transport procedure, a group of bats woke up from their induced hibernation earlier than expected. These weren't just animals, they were live weapons. They escaped the handlers and instinctively sought the dark wooden shade of the airfield's buildings. Moments later, the timers on their incendiary packs ticked down. The result was chaos. The bats incinerated a hangar, a general's car, and a significant portion of the base's infrastructure. It was a humiliating disaster for the handlers, but it inadvertently proved Adams's theory correct. The weapon was incredibly effective at starting fires in elusive places. Following the incident, the project was transferred to the Navy and moved to the Dugway Proving Ground in Utah. Here, the military constructed a precise replica of a Japanese settlement, complete with industrial zones and residential dwellings made from authentic materials. The results were staggering. In controlled tests, the bat bomb produced more fires per bomb load than the standard incendiary bombs used during the Blitz. The bats penetrated deep into the structures where flames were hardest to extinguish. The National Defense Research Committee observed that while a standard bombing run might start 167 to 400 fires, a single mission using Project X-ray could theoretically ignite over 4,000 fires. It seemed the US had found its ultimate weapon, a biological delivery system for napalm. Despite the lethal efficiency displayed in Utah, Project X-ray faced a critical enemy: time. The complexities of breeding, transporting, and hibernating millions of bats caused repeated delays. By 1944, the project had cost an estimated $2 million, roughly $30 million today, and was moving too slowly. Fleet Admiral Ernest J. King looked at the timeline. He was informed that Project X-ray wouldn't be combat-ready until mid-1945. Meanwhile, the Manhattan Project was accelerating toward the creation of the atomic bomb, promising a quicker, albeit more devastating, end to the war. In February 1944, Admiral King issued the order to cancel the program. The bats were never deployed in combat. The bat bomb remains one of the most eccentric chapters in military history, a plan that was scientifically viable, yet logistically absurd. It serves as a reminder of the lengths nations will go to during total war, and proving that even the most bizarre ideas can have enormous consequences on the world stage. If you enjoyed this glimpse into history's hidden files, be sure to like and subscribe for more unexpected conflicts.